Welcome back to the second of a triple header of weekend here at the 2021 PCCA in Ningbo. So earlier this morning we had a very exciting battle between all our Porsche drivers round one, where Daniel Liu from Team Jepson took overall victory ahead of Lin Kang from Meidong Racing. So let's take a look at the grid ahead for this afternoon then. So it will be Daniel again taking from P2 alongside our pole man Liu Ye from BD Group. 各位观众朋友，大家好，欢迎来到2021赛季的 PCCA 宁波站的比赛现场。那么我们这个周末呢，一共是有连续背靠背3回合的比赛。我们即将进行的呢是第2场的比赛。那么在上午的比赛中呢，我们所有的保时捷车手给大家献上了一场精彩绝伦的比拼。最后呢，是来自捷成车队的陆文龙获得了比赛胜利。那么第2名呢是来自美东车队的林康。 那么我们看一下今天的发车情况吧。那今天我们的杆位车手呢是再一次是我们来自保德企业集团的叶红丽。那么第2名呢是上午的冠军小将陆文龙。我们也非常期待我们的所有的保时捷车手再度为大家献上精彩的比赛。那在我们比赛开始之前呢，我们先看一段视频，回顾一下上午的精彩瞬间。
To round number 5, and it was a very good start indeed from Championship second place driver from Paul Lioyer in the Absolute Racing BT Group car. It's the silver and black machine, but he was pressurised in the early stages by the number 20 from the outside of the front row, Daniel Liu Wenlong, and it wasn't long before Daniel put that number 20 up the inside and dived through at the chicane. In the fight, I'm afraid there was contact. That spelled very bad news indeed for Liu Ye, who had to retire his car, and no points then for the championship. Same point on the track, few laps later, and the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, with championship newcomer Max Weiser in the Toro red and white car, doing his best to hold off some slightly more experienced in this championship runners. He kept them at bay for almost, in fact, just over half the race before Toyue went through, but he couldn't hold on to that and dropped back into 3rd position. The battle in the Pro-Am category was all very tight indeed until Joby Wan had a spin, couldn't overcome the laws of physics on the rear tyres, and at the front of the field, well, the number 20 Jepson car just driving away until the last couple of 3 laps, because then it was a big charge back for the 2nd place driver. 3 seconds was good enough at the line, however, and Daniel comes through to take the top points from in 2nd place Lin Kang, and for the championship 2nd place player Liu Ye, that's done Daniel's chances in the championship no harm at all, and he will increase his championship tally, and I reckon that moves him into 2nd place overall. Packed grid down there at the moment on the front straight of this 22 cornered 2.5 mile track. It's a real one for the technicians, and the air and track temperature have rocketed since this morning's race. The Michelin tyres are going to get a real workout this afternoon. Good news for the drivers is the humidity's dropped a little bit, but 49 degrees on the track with the UV heading down onto the track all morning. That's going to be very hot indeed. Right, let's pick up some of the atmosphere and head down to Andrea, who is with Alex Gibault from Porsche.
Welcome back to the grid. I'm here joined by the Managing Director of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific, Mr. Alexander Gibault. Hello Alex, really good to see you, and it's fantastic to be back on track, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome everyone. I think it's fantastic to be back on the track after this 3 months break, even though, you know, we did some testing over the summer, but of course the intensity and the emotion when you race is completely different. So we are very happy to be back with all the teams and the drivers here in Ningbo.
Yeah, of course, Ningbo is one of the 4 Chinese tracks we'll be racing on this season. And not only that, we will also see an unprecedented number of Chinese drivers racing for the PCCA this season. So is it fair to say that the PCCA definitely has a China focus for the season then?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we used to have 2 to 3 Chinese drivers in the past. This year we have almost 20 drivers all coming from mainland China. So it's a great show that we are pushing, and all the work we do to develop the motorsport culture is paying off because we have local teams, we have local drivers, and we are very happy to see this field here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alex. Back to you guys.
Great to see Alex down there on the grid. Fantastic support that Porsche Asia has given to this championship. So round 6 today, round 7 tomorrow morning. Good opportunity for championship points haul, as we were talking about earlier on. Let's have a look to see some of the cars on the grid. Well, the good news is that our pole sitter is there. And that is Liu Ye in the 22 car on the right of the start grid. That's the silver and black car. And that car had some left front steering damage, but the guys at Absolute, on behalf of BD Group, have done a cracking job. No points scored at all for Liu Ye in the first race, so he will be looking to make amends for that. Team Jebsen and Daniel Lu Wenlong, well, he's got the momentum now. Took his first win of the season in round 5 here earlier on today, and we have seen that he is very strong indeed in the opening laps, and that is something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on for him, and see if he can pull that manoeuvre off again, because once he got through, he drove away. Second row of the grid, 3rd position, another Absolute run car, Team Star Chase, the bright orange machine. And that is Yu Kuai. Alongside him, another hard charger in the number 86. This is the Porsche holding car, and that is Toi Yue. That's the black, white and red machine on the inside behind that front row, number 20. I feel he had a bit of pace early on as well, but couldn't utilise it. One of the better starters from the first race. Keep an eye open for Toro Racing and Max Visa. Car with the red mirrors just sticking out on row 3. On the pit wall side of the grid, you can just see the 2 red stripes around the front of that car. That's Max. It will be a standing start. So let's take a look at the 2.5 mile circuits Alan Wilson designed. He's been doing a number of these tracks for my time, the division of Geely, dedicated to education, tourism and sport, and that's where we get the sport from. 22 corners. Liu Ye this morning with the 146.1. Excellent stuff, and that is much quicker. In fact, you know what, that's only 6 seconds away from an F3 time around here. A variety of corners and surfaces, and a little bit of elevation change as well within the 4 kilometres or 2.5 miles. Means that there's plenty going on for the drivers and for the cars. The key thing here for the teams, particularly in this heat, is how are you going to set the car up? Heavy at the start with all the racing fuel, Michelin tyres that you are going to have on for 16 laps or a little over 30 minutes. Here's how they'll line up. So Liu Ye in the 22. Alongside him, Daniel Lu Wenlong. He's got the momentum, as we mentioned earlier on. Yu Kuai in the 99 on the inside of row 2 from the number 86 of Toi Yue. Then it's Yuan Bo in the number 88. Really tight, by the way, less than a second from the top 5. Then Max Visa for Toro in 7th position on the inside of the 3rd row. Bao Jinlong for Team Shanghai Yonder. He's got Min Heng beside him. That's the number 66 car. And then we're into some of the Pro-Am categories. 3 categories of cars here, all determined on the drivers. And the pole sitter for Pro-Am in 10th, Henry Kwong, with Eric Kwong alongside him. Eric Kwong rather with Henry Kwong alongside him, other way around. Bianye in 11th, Nathan Liu Wenhe. Now, he was quick in the first race, keep an eye on him. 8:28, Li Jia is in 13th, Li Chao in 14th. Jackie Wu, now is Jackie Wu on the grid? He couldn't get that car started, the number 69 car. It had to be pushed off the grid. Ling Kong in 17th. Zhou Biwan in 18th in the 68, and the 666 right at the back, Ling Gui in 19th position. So just see if I can spot Jackie's car going through there. Jackie's the white car with the red stripes along the bottom and the black bonnet swoosh. And the silver car rather. Is that him going through there? I think he's on the grid. We'll confirm that when we see them on the grid itself. We're talking about the 69 car. There's the 911 going through. Number 911, I should say. So Jackie shouldn't be too far behind that. Coming to the end of the track is where this elevation really drops away on this right-hander, and then you've got to slow the car down for a nasty little left-right flick before the final left-hander. Now Paul Sitter then bringing the cars to the grid. So Leo Ye, who will want to get his championship challenge back on track, literally, as he brings the field round. Now it's the waiting game for those at the front. Watching for the cars coming round. There's Jackie coming into position in the 69, so he is there. Just waiting for the final car to come round. That's the 666 horsepower racing car. Lingui. Chase car at the back of the grids. And this was about the time that we had the problem with Jackie Wu in the first race, but we did get him out. Green flag is waving. Round 6 for the 2021 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. He's go. Lights are out, and again a good start by the pole sitter. Immediately defends to the inside, but Daniel didn't get as good a start as he did the first time, and he's under pressure from Toy Lue himself as they go down to the first corner. Big lock up by the red, white and blue car, and that was Bao Jinlong who was torturing his Michelins early on. It's the pole sitter who's got away and streaked away. What, 3, 4, 5 Porsches lengths between him and Daniel in second place. Toy Lue in third. Fourth, bright orange car. That is the number 99 of Yu Kuai. All of these drivers have pace. Up there as well, 88. That's Yuan Bo. That's the Ivory Bay Capital car, another absolute run car. Ingo Mata, been across in Europe for Le Mans. The man at the head of Absolute Racing, based at, substantially at least, at Shanghai International Circuit. They're on a very tight ship. 4 cars under their stewardship here this weekend. What a first lap though from our pole sitter. Leo, yeah, in the number 22. Now this is the way to bounce back after that damage in round 5. Really needs to maximise the points. Bumped out of second place in the championship by the man who is behind him. So points to make up here. Really can't afford in such a short and competitive championship to have non-finishers. I have no doubt that Leo Yet will know that as well as anybody. They complete the first lap. And head round the fast corner. Down into the middle section of the circuit. The leaders then, first, second and third, all pro class drivers. Looks like there's a change for fourth position. That's the Xuanbo 88 car that's gone through there. The orange car has dropped back. That's Yu Kuai. So that's a change of position. Leading in the amateur class once again is Bao Jinlong, despite that lock-up. Oh, and a spin. Oh, and that is the very car we were talking about. Yuan Bo, who had just gone up into fourth position, facing the wrong direction. The four-way flashes come on automatically on these cars. So the Ivory Bay Capital driver has slipped all the way down to the back of the grid, and the leaders are together. Leaders are together. So our pole sitter, the number 22, Liu Ye, now with the mirrors full of Daniel Liu Wenlong, split by a couple of tenths in qualifying, 146.4 for Liu Ye, 146.6 for Daniel, and another spinner. This is the heat, isn't it? It really is. Li Chao facing the wrong direction in the Porsche Beijing Central and Golden Park car. That's one of the Pro-Am runners. Nearly 50 degrees Celsius on the track. Let's see if we can work out what happened further back down the field. Oh, now there was definitely some assistance there, and the black and yellow car of Henry Kwong was involved. Very unusual for Henry, normally a very fair and respectful driver. Don't think there was anything in that other than just a bit of mistake under braking. So Liu Ye still leading and has pulled out again just a little bit, but that's enough, isn't it? Gives you a little bit of breathing space and you're not always looking over your shoulder. If anything, the battle now is for second, isn't it? We've got the white and blue Jebsen car, very distinctive, that livery. Like the way they've used the accents around the front and sides of the car to accentuate the very wide-bodied curves of the new 992. A lot of changes, brand new body, brand new platform, but still the same 4-litre flat 6 engine, producing a little over 500 horsepower. Still running on the 18-inch Michelin Racing slicks, the Pilot Cup spec tyres. And the top three have disappeared. They've put some 3.5 seconds into fourth place. Now back in fourth now, obviously after that spin from Yuan Bo, is Yu Kuai in the orange 99. Across the lap for the completion of another full circuit, 4 kilometres, 2.5 miles. There's fourth place, the bright orange car. Then the battle for fifth. Now in there is Li Kong, also right up there. Eric, who is leading the Pro-Am category. That is the number 23 of Eric Kwong in the Kiddie World Racing multicoloured Porsche. That one's always easy to pick out, and he's running very steadily, well inside the top 10 there. He's already had 4 race wins out of 5 this year in his class, and really has taken the AM Championship by the scruff of the neck. He's dominated it, doing exactly the same today. Next best AM driver, Henry Kwong, down in 14th position. So that'll tell you how well Eric Kwong is doing. The top 3 just round about 3 seconds away from Yu Kuai in 4th position in that orange number 99. And after challenging the third place driver now, number 86 car that is, Toyue, in the black, white and red car, is just dropping away a little bit. Now that might free Daniel Liu from looking in his mirrors and allow him to focus more forward, maybe get a little closer to the leader. 16 laps. We have got a time limit, but I think that will only come in if we have an extended safety car period. These laps are being ripped off very quickly indeed. Well under 1 minute and 50 seconds at the front of the field. Just to give you an idea, the outright lap record here is a 140.7, set in 2018 by Jake Hughes in the Asian F3 Championship in a Tatus T318 in F3 Asia. And we're, what, 7-8 seconds is all we are away from that in a GT car. Big lock up for Daniel there. And look, that has put the lights on the car. In fact, the leader's got the lights on as well. Now, what's going on here? Have they all locked it up? And once they trigger that, the car knows that something has happened and it puts the lights on. We've also got some traffic ahead. Now let's look at the battles further down the field. That's where the lights are flashing, sitting in behind the 828. So that's positions made up by Li Jia. And dropping to the back, Li Chao in the number 9 car, and the 88 we saw the spin-off, Yuan Bo in the Ivory Bay Capital car. So both of those guys effectively out of position. Leaders across the line. That's a great lap for the leader. The man who started from pole, Liu Ye, has now pulled out 10 cars lengths to second place. And from being able to concentrate on the rear aerofoil, that new rear aerofoil with the swan neck mountings on the new 992 Cup car, Daniel Liu is now in defensive mode because Toyue is sitting there with those menacing yellow accents just alongside the headlights. Almost look like a second set of lights on the front of the Porsche Holding number 86 car. Through the midfield, as you were. I say that Yu Kuai is not catching quite as quickly as I thought. 2.5 seconds away from third. Further down the field, that battle we were looking at earlier on, Jackie Wu out on the circuit with the flashes going, so I was right, he did get that car going. Slight change of livery for Jackie this weekend. Now he's turned the lights off, but ahead of him it is the 666. It's the grey car of Ling Yue, who started right at the back, so has made up 5 positions. Make that 6 positions. Sits in 14th at the moment and 5th in class, his class being the Pro-Am category. Driver on the move at the moment in 8th position. Keep an eye out for the 66. And that is Ming Hung in the Toro Racing number 66. And he's moving up forwards, whereas Max Weiser didn't get the start I'd built him up to. 66, 2 cars ahead of Eric Kwong in the Kiddie car, and then Kiddie World car, and then the Max Weiser car. They're battling for position, but not in class. That's 8th and 9th ahead. And the reason I said that I thought the 66 car was on the move as Max goes through, so he lost a few positions at the start, but now showing his experience and fighting his way through the field. The reason I thought that the 66 car was moving in, in fact he's now got past Eric Kwong, as Max has just done, so that means there's now just 2 seconds between the number 66 of Ming Hung and 6th position car, which is Bao Jinlong for Team Shanghai yonder, and they are battling for the Pro-Am lead in 6th and 7th. So need to keep an eye on the two Toro Racing cars, which have both made overtaking manoeuvres in the last lap. And there we are, the white, blue and red car of the class leader in 6th, Bao Jinlong, and it didn't take that number 66 car long to catch it. I've got to say it, I thought he was moving forward, but he's done even better than I expected there. Ming Hung then, right in the wheel tracks of the class leader. Toro Racing with two cars coming as well. Going to get a bit of help from his teammate, not in the same class. Max is in the pro class. He's passed Eric Kwong, of course, in that lap as well. And down the inside at that fast sweeping turn one, that almost an opportunity to go through. But that is such a hard one to pull off. You've really got to get a good punch out of the 22nd and final corner here. But look at Max coming as well. That second Toro Racing car as his teammate jinks to the left, then the right, then the left again. It's going to be a three-car battle for 6th anytime soon. Max Visser found some pace here. He'll want to get rid of these two cars and try and get up the road, but there's 12 seconds now between this battle and the back of the pro field. So Ling Kong would be the next target for Max. It's much closer though for Ming Hong. So they are battling for that lead in the Pro-Am category. Three classes of driver, all the cars are the same. Here comes Max. Now really, he doesn't want to interfere here too much, unless of course he thinks he can help his teammate. He's going for it really early as we come to the end of this lap, just coming up to half distance. Oh, little mistake there. Here's the opportunity. Down the inside, this is lovely. It's going to be side by side into the chicane. We've seen how difficult that is, but the crossover down the hill, that's a wonderful manoeuvre by Ming Hung. Still hasn't quite got it done. The two Toro cars, the silver and the grey. Here comes Max, final corner. That hasn't helped his teammate. So Max has taken a position away from his teammate there. I wonder if he let him through. No, none of that. Now, who's this coming through in behind them as well? That looks to me as though it's the Nathan Liu Wenlong number 911 car with the Porsche script on the side, flashing his lights with the red stripe on the bonnet. Yes, it is. So that car having come up again from a rather lowly starting position, exactly as we saw in the first race, from 12th position and now disputing 6th. This is all exactly the opposite, I think, of what Ming Hung wanted. He was battling for his leading class. Now his teammates taking up the cudgels on Bao Jinlong. Meantime, let's check in further up the field, where Yu Kuai in the bright orange car, he's starting to get a bit of pressure now. And that's the number 12 of Li Kong in the Maidong Racing silver car. Our leader crosses the line into the second half of the race now. The gap is a second, just over a second for Liu Ye. BD Group cars engineered by Absolute Racing. Haven't seen much of him, but he's just been gently plying his trade. Still Daniel Liu in second. Now that battle we were watching earlier on, and Max Visser scythes down the inside. Is his teammate going to take the opportunity as well? Bao Jinlong could not hold Max back. So that battle for Pro-Am now is in 7th and 8th, and it's still Bao Xinlong and Ling Hung. Battle for second position is turned up to 11 again as well. You always know when a driver has run out of ideas when they start flashing the lights. Toyue in the red, white, black, number 86 of Porsche Holding. Toyue trying different lines, putting his car on different parts of the track. And the guys have been putting a lot of energy into the Michelins. Remember, we started this race with a track temperature 49 degrees Celsius, and it's just climbing. Weather forecast told us that there was going to be a few clouds today. They were wrong. It's been sunshine since early morning, and the temperature in the air in the mid-30s now, with that UV on the track all day. It's quite a dark surface here, with it being a new track. Only started building it and racing on it in 2017, and that dark surface is absorbing the UV energy. Well over 50 degrees Celsius now on the track here at Ningbo. Leader getting away, and the reason is because the battle for second and third is now slowing them up. The question for me now is, can the number 99, the orange Team Star Chase car, Yu Kuai, can he start to close down? He's got company now, as I suspected. The number 12 car of Ling Kong really pushing along now, and we're going to have a battle very shortly for 4th position. I just wonder if they can bridge that gap to the battle for second, and all of a sudden we'll have a 4-car scrap for 2 places on the podium. At the moment, the pole sitter Liu Ye with that amazing 1:46.4 in qualifying, but we've seen him do a 46.1 in race conditions, so that is the, unofficially at least, the lap record for Porsche Carrera Cup Asia around here. 2 pairs, second and third, battling. Third and fourth also having their fight. And it's pretty tight for 7th and 8th as well, which is the lead in Pro-Am. And that is still Bao Xinlong in the number 6, chased by Ming Hung in the 66 Toro Racing car. But at the front of the field, it's where we've got to keep our attention at the moment. I think there was a little mistake there. Just a little mistake from Ling Kong, and he's dropped back from the bright orange car that he was chasing. Meanwhile, change. Have we got the Toro car ahead? Yes, we have, but it's the 66. So yes, that's a change of lead. As I thought, that battle had heated up enough. So the 66, no, hang on a second. 66 is ahead, but he's ahead of Shobi-Wan. So where is the number 6 of Bao Xilong? He's got away. There's been a mistake then by the number 66 driver, Min Hung, because he's dropped 5 seconds, and he was only about half a second away from the leader. So that last lap, yeah, look at the lap times have dropped away. So has there been an off-track incident? There must have been. Right in behind them, by the way, the AM class leader, Eric Kwong, in the Kiddie World car, the number 23 multicoloured car. So it's going to be another top 10. Oh, well, I'm telling you now, Ming Hung not going to be happy with that, because he was battling for the lead. His teammate came through, almost gave him the opportunity. Max Visa up into 6th position, but some 22 seconds away from the back of the battle at the front of the field. What he didn't do was open the door enough to let Ming Hung go by Bao Xinlong. And now, in fact, Ming Hung under pressure, and this is a class position here for Shobi-Wan. I've got a feeling that's the 18th the 68 car started well back. Yes, an 18th position. So that's been a great drive through the field by Jobiwan. It's the silver and blue car, currently in 9th position, second in that Pro-Am category. The number 6 car up the road, some 5 seconds up the road from this battle. Number 6 being Bao Jinlong, as I say, the leader. Second in the Pro-Am Championship coming into this weekend to Bianye. Bianye struggling at the moment, down in 13th position and 4th in class. So again, championship implications. That category coming in here, barely 10 points across the leading runners. Jobiwan tries to look down the inside, got the nose of the silver car in there for a moment. Discretion being the better part of valour. Another car with the hazard flashes on, who must have locked a brake. ABS on these cars, even in the for the pro runners. It's an addition for 2021 on the 992 version of the Porsche 911 Carrera Cup Racer. Let's check in with the leaders. The battle at the front of the field, seemingly at the moment, still going the way of the man who started on the inside of the front row. Liu Ye leads it by over a second and a half now, and we have got the 4 cars that I was expecting battling for 2 spots on the podium. Daniel Lui, who won the 5th round earlier on today, 5th round of the season earlier on today here at Ningbo, holding 2nd place at the moment from Toi Yue in the 86 car. Then the bright orange car is Yu Kuai. Behind Yu Kuai, the silver and blue number 12 is Ling Kong. And only 2 of those drivers will stand on the podium. Just Ling Kong there, just pulling out of the hot, what I'm sure is very hot air in behind that bright orange vehicle sponsored number 99. It's a Team Star Chase car. Oh, this is all going to get really interesting at the end. Drivers will be tired. Tyres will be somewhat past their best. Michelin builds a phenomenal tyre for these races, and they are very durable across the 35 or so minutes that these races will last, but they are really being put through the grinder here with the extreme track temperatures. Fuel burning out the cars here with just 3 laps to go. That second group then of 4 cars battling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Daniel Lui, this time the man who is being chased, he knows he can't put a Michelin tyre wrong on this infield section. It's quite hard to pass. You've got a plan, you've got a scheme, but there are places where even the smallest mistake, you go offline here, and there's a pretty wide racing line. Now some defence there by Yu Kuai, side by side. We've seen the outside move almost work. Got to tough it out over there if you're going to do it, and that's what was being tried there by Li Kong. Has to drop back in though. But immediately, look, as soon as they start fighting, look what happens. They've dropped a couple of 3 cars lengths away from Toi Yue, who is looking at the back of that white car in 2nd position. Is it my imagination, or they're catching the leader? I think Daniel Lui might be catching our leader, Liu Ye. So has he still got performance in himself, in the car and in the Michelin tyres? My goodness, this could be a grandstand finish. The top 5 separated now by a little over 3 seconds. And a second and a half of that is between first and second. Let's keep an eye on the timings as they come across the line. Liu Ye then leads it. The gap remains about the same as he goes across the line. In fact, it's almost identical. Last lap board has gone out. So just under 4 kilometres, 2.5 miles. And the battle for third and fourth, well, they went so far off the track there at turn 4, they're going to have to show their passes to get back in. An extraordinary piece of driving by both of them. I suppose the stewards will say that neither of them gained an advantage on the other, so that will probably be overlooked. But that's the battle at the moment for fourth and fifth, my apologies. Yu Kuai and Ling Kong, and they are side by side again. Oh, beautiful manoeuvre around the outside. Ling Kong has gone deep though, brake very late indeed. Is that the opportunity for Yu Kuai to come back? They're side by side, they touch once, they almost touched a second time. Oh, just pulling away. The orange car down the inside. Now that was off the track and that was gaining advantage, so smart move by Ling Kong, who drops back. Quarter of a lap to go. Round 5 surely going the way of poleman Liu Ye. But where are the minor places going? Looks like Daniel Liu and Toy Yue will join him on the podium. Huge black lines of Michelin rubber being laid out of that left-hand corner. 2 corners to go for the leader. The battle for fourth and fifth. But it's redemption in the second of 3 races this weekend at Ningbo International Speedway for Liu Ye. He takes maximum points by 2 seconds from Daniel Liu in second. Toy Yue comes home in third, and just holding on by under 0.4 of a second to fourth position, the number 99, the orange car of Yu Kuai. Ling Kong in fifth, still waiting for Max Visser to come through. He was a good 20 seconds back from that leading group of 5. Bajin Long will take the Pro-Am by 5 seconds in the end, after that good scrap in the middle portion of the race with Ming Hung in the Toro Racing number 66. Eric Kwong eased his pace towards the end, drops out of the top 10, but takes his 5th of 6 races victories this weekend and this season, and he'll take the Am category ahead of Henry Kwong, who fought his way into second position. Good to see Jackie Wu will come through to the end as well after his car didn't get to the start of the first race. Got to the starting grid, the formation lap, but not much further. So Ningbo International Speed Park will host a further race this weekend tomorrow morning. Try and join us for that. But our overall and pro category winner, Liu Ye, did what he couldn't do in round 5, hold on to the lead, and actually developed it, didn't he, over that race. I thought that was a nicely judged race by the leader. And now winner in that number 22 BD group, Liu Ye. It's his second win of the season. The guys at Absolute will be happy with that. Eric Kwong taking another top step in the Kiddie World Car in the Am category. What a season he's having. I'm going to have to start doing some arithmetic shortly, because he's going to get to a stage very soon where he'll be able to be confirmed as champion before the end of the season. We're a couple of races away from that yet. Overall winners coming into Parc Fermé. I've got to say it, Liu Ye, he hasn't taken his helmet off yet, but my goodness, he doesn't even look like, well, he certainly doesn't look like he's done 16 laps in this heat and this humidity. It'll take some refreshment, I'm sure. Second place for Daniel Liu, Wen Long. Good outing for the Team Jepson car. It's the white and blue car. And third, Toy Yue on the far side of that threesome. So confirmation there as your top three. BD Group from Team Jebsen from Porsche Holding, 3 seconds between them. Yu Kuai, Team Star Chase in 4th position from Ling Kong and Mai Dong Racing. Just couldn't get there in the end. Max Weiser fought his way back to a rather distant 6th position. Bao Jinlong takes the Pro-Am category from Min Hong and Zhou Biwan in 3rd, and right in the middle of that battle, Yuan Bo for Ivory Break Capital in 8th position. Look at Eric Kwong, 11th position for Kitty World. He's the best of the Am drivers, ahead of a charging Nathan Liu Wenlu, and the rest of the Am drivers following through. It's Henry Kwong in 2nd place in the Am category. Well, a hot, humid day weather-wise, and an absolute scorcher on the track, with great battling all the way through. Another win for a driver who perfectly judged the pace of the race. We saw it with Daniel Liu Wenlong in round 5. We've seen it again with Liu He in round 6. Those two will be side by side for round 7 tomorrow morning from Ningbo International Speedway. I reckon it'll be worth watching. Don't count out Toi Lue either. That's number 86 car's been fast all weekend, and I'm sure that in his heart of hearts he'll want to be mixing it with the 2 drivers who finished ahead of him this time. There'll be moderate celebrations tonight with another race to come tomorrow, but so far for the 2 drivers who have started both races on the front row, it's 1 winner each. Who will take the 3rd one tomorrow? Join us and find out. Let's just review what we saw there. Max Visser got an absolute howler of a start, almost stalled the car. That's why he went all the way down to the back. So I'm going to take back what I said about Max. He did well to fight back up to an eventual 7th position, 6th position in fact, wasn't it? A little bit of bumping and barging earlier on, but at the front of the field, Daniel Liu Wenlong was trying to get away. There was a spin behind them. Remember, that was the 88 car that went around early on when Bo, in the Ivory Break Capital car, then had to fight back. A little bit of a touch in the midfield as well, in the Henry Kwong in that yellow and black car, just pushing round one of his competitors. Good to see Jackie Wu got out there as well this time around. Then it was this intriguing battle for the Pro-Am lead. Bao Jinlong in the 6th, the 66 Min Hung. And it looked for a little while as though Max Visser coming back through might be able to help his teammate. Just, excuse me, coming through at the final corner. And then later on in that same lap, forced Bao Jinlong wide, and I thought at that point his teammate could take advantage, but it just wasn't a big enough gap. Very hot conditions, Michelin tyres being tortured by the drivers, particularly those with heavy right feet. So from that battle in the bottom end of the top 10, our attention at the end of the race went to what was going on for 4th, and the number 99 defending hard, Yu Kuai. They both took some, shall we say, inventive lines around the circuit. There's lots of runoff here, and both Yu Kuai and Ling Kong in the number 12 car managed to use all of the tarmac and a bit more. For a moment, we had a change of position, but that was done off the circuit, advantage gained. Smart to give that back. But no one had any answers for another perfectly judged race at the head of the field, and Liu He takes the victory and the 25 points, and that puts his championship challenge back on track after a lowly point score in round 5. Well, as I said before, the 2 drivers who share the front row, Liu He and Daniel Liu Wenlong, have both got a race win apiece. They also start from the front row tomorrow. Let's see if they can make it 2 races this weekend as victory, or can Toi Lue get in amongst it?